The village nestled deep within the Whisperwood Valley lived beneath skies strangely devoid of stars for generations. The people endured the profound darkness, their nights illuminated only by the flickering hearths within their stone cottages. An ancient legend spoke of a time when the heavens blazed with light, but a great sadness had dimmed them. Elder Alara, her face a map of wrinkles etched by time, would tell children of the Sky Woman, a celestial being whose tears once fell as stardust, seeding the night with brilliance. But her heartache had grown too deep, and the tears stopped falling long ago. The villagers sighed, accepting the starless void as their immutable fate. One crisp autumn evening, as the last crimson hues bled from the horizon, a figure emerged from the edge of the ancient forest. She moved with an ethereal grace, her simple gown woven from twilight hues that shimmered faintly. Her eyes, vast and deep as the forgotten cosmos, held an unfathomable sorrow. This was the Sky Woman. Silently, she walked the worn path into the village. Unnoticed by most, busy with evening chores, she carried nothing but a small, rough-woven pouch clutched tightly in her slender hand. Her presence was like a cool breeze, a subtle shift in the air that only old Finn, sitting whittling on his porch, truly felt deep in his bones. He watched her pass, a strange ache blooming in his chest. Without a word spoken, the Sky Woman visited each humble dwelling. At every threshold, she reached into her pouch and withdrew a single, unremarkable seed, placing it carefully upon the stone step or the worn wooden sill. The seeds were small, dull gray, and utterly lifeless looking. Some villagers glanced curiously at the strange gift before shutting their doors, dismissing it as a peculiarity. Others, absorbed in their own weariness, did not even notice the tiny offering left behind. Only young Anya, a girl whose spirit hadn't yet been dimmed by the perpetual twilight, knelt and picked up the seed. Before her door it felt cold and inert in her small palm. Yet she felt a faint, inexplicable pull towards it. Days turned into weeks. The Sky Woman vanished as quietly as she had come. Most of the seeds remained forgotten. Some were swept away by the wind or washed down the gutter by rain. Others were tossed aside carelessly, landing in cracks between cobblestones or trampled into the mud of the village square. The villagers continued their lives under the oppressive, starless dome, their hearts growing a little heavier, their hopes a little dimmer. Old Finn, however, had carefully placed his seed on the narrow windowsill of his small cottage. He looked at it each morning, its dull surface offering no clue, yet a quiet intuition told him it held significance beyond its humble appearance. Anya, unlike the others, couldn't forget her seed. She carried it in a small pouch around her neck, close to her heart. One afternoon, wandering near the edge of the Whisperwood where sunlight still dappled the mossy ground, she felt an unusual warmth radiating from the pouch. Drawing it out, she gasped. The once dull gray seed now pulsed with a faint, silvery luminescence. Remembering Elder Elara's tales of things needing earth and care, Anya found a soft patch of soil bathed in late sun near a gnarled oak root. With tender hands, she dug a small hole and nestled the glowing seed within. Whispering a quiet wish for light, she covered it gently and sprinkled it with water from her flask. Meanwhile, old Finn, observing his seed daily, noticed it hadn't changed on his dusty sill. Remembering the Sky Woman's profound sorrow, he felt a pang of understanding. Her gift wasn't for windowsills, he realized. It was for the earth, a gesture of faith. Taking his seed, he walked slowly to his small, neglected garden plot behind the cottage. Kneeling with stiff joints, he cleared a small space amidst the weeds, dug deep into the rich, dark soil, and planted the seed with reverence, patting the earth softly over it. For the Sky Woman, he murmured, his voice rough with emotion. He watered it with care, a simple act of kindness offered to a grieving stranger's token. Nothing happened immediately. Days passed. Then, one evening, as the deepest blue of twilight settled over the valley, a gasp rippled through the village from the spot where Anya had planted her seed. A slender, silvery shoot had pierced the earth. It grew visibly, almost impossibly fast, reaching skyward. Tiny buds formed along its stem, swelling like captured moonlight. At the same moment, a soft, radiant light began to emanate from Finn's garden. His plant, too, was growing, unfurling luminous leaves. Astonished villagers gathered, drawn by the gentle glow. Then, one by one, the buds on Anya's plant burst open. Not flowers, but perfect, miniature stars bloomed upon the stem, casting a soft, silvery radiance that pushed back the shadows. Finn's plant unfurled leaves like shimmering nebulae, the forgotten seeds, wherever they had fallen, in cracks, in muddy corners, suddenly responded. Any seed that had touched the earth, however briefly, now sent up shoots of pure, gentle starlight. Tiny beacons of hope pierced the oppressive darkness that had reigned for so long. The villagers stood in awed silence, tears tracing paths down weathered faces. They looked up, not at the familiar empty void, but at the luminous garden growing around them, a constellation reborn upon the earth high above, unseen but deeply felt. The sky woman watched where her tears had once fallen as stardust. A single, luminous tear now escaped her eye, not of sorrow, but of profound gratitude. It fell silently through the vastness, joining the newly born lights below. For the first time in living memory, the village wasn't just under the sky. It was part of it, embraced by the gentle, unplanted seeds of kindness finally taking root. The long night was over, replaced by a soft, enduring glow born from simple acts of remembrance and care.